Hello everyone, myself Dr. Santanu Kundu. I welcome you all to this class of soft computing technique. This is the first lecture of module 4. Till now, we have covered module 1, module 2 and module 3. So in these modules, we have studied fuzzy sets, membership functions, basic operations, fuzzy relations, defuzzification methods, fuzzy inference, and fuzzy rule-based systems. So, this module will try to understand the genetic algorithm. So, what are genetic algorithms? So, genetic algorithms are adaptive heuristic search algorithm based on the evolutionary ideas of natural selection and genetics. So basically, heuristic search algorithm is a technique to find the best or closer to optimal solution. It is it has several components like state space. So state space means the set of possible solutions. So the state space means the set of all possible solutions. Initial state means the set of solution which will be considered for at the set of solutions those will be considered at initial stage. Set of set of solution initial state means the set of solutions which are going to consider which is going to consider at initial stage, that is at t equal to 0, you can say. And some fitness test you can check, you can say it gold test. So heuristic search algorithm is a technique to find the best or closer to optimal solution. It has several components like state space means the set of all possible solution. Initial state means the set of solution which are going to consider at initial state, that is t equal to 0. And some fitness test you can say it is gold test. So evolutionary computing is a computational model that imitates biological evolution processes using algorithm like genetic algorithm, idea given by Holland 1975, evolutionary programming, that is Forgel at all at 1966, evolution strategies, that is at 1973, and genetic programming that given by Kozai 1942 and that. So genetic algorithms are part of evolutionary computing, a rapidly growing area of artificial intelligence. GI are inspired by Darwin theory about evolution, that is the survival of the fittest. GI genetic algorithms represent an intelligent exploitation of a random search used to solve optimization problems. Genetic algorithms, although randomized, exploit historical information to direct the search into the region of better performance within the search space. In nature, competition among individuals for scanty resources results in the fittest individual dominating over the weaker ones. So genetic algorithm based on these concepts. So introduction, the solving problems mean looking for solution which is best among others. Finding the solution to a problem is often thought in computer science and AI as a process of search through the space of possible solutions. The set of possible solutions defines the search space called state space for a given problem. Solutions for partial solutions are viewed as points in the search space. In engineering and mathematics, this is as a process in engineering and mathematics as a process of optimizations. The problems are first formulated as mathematical models expressed in terms of function, and then to find a solution, discover the parameters that optimize the model or the function components that provide optimal system performance. Now, why genetic algorithm? So, genetic algorithm it is better. So, genetic algorithm. So, why genetic algorithm? Genetic algorithm is better than conventional AI. It is more robust. Unlike older AI systems, the genetic algorithms do not break easily even if the input changes slightly or in the presence of reasonable noise. While performing search in large state space, multimodal state space, or n-dimensional surface, the genetic algorithms offer significant benefits over many other typical search optimization techniques like linear programming, heuristic, depth first, breadth first, etc. Genetic algorithms are good at taking large, potentially huge search spaces and navigating them, looking for optimal combinations of things the solution one might not otherwise find in a lifetime. So that is given by Salvatore Mangano Computer Design in May 1995. Let's have a look in biological background. So basic genetics. So all living things consist of cells, as you know. In each cell, there is same set of chromosomes. Chromosomes are strings of DNA. So a chromosome consists of genes, that is the block of DNA. Each gene encodes a particular protein that represents a feature that is a trait, as for example, color of eyes. Possible settings for a trait are called alleles. Each gene has its own position in the chromosome, called its locus. The complete set of genetic material, that is all chromosomes, is called a genome. Particular set of genes in a chromosome is called genotype. So try to understand the meanings of chromosome, which is the consist of genes, that is block of DNA. So remember these things, chromosome. The physical expression of a genotype is called the phenotype. So its physical and mental characteristics such as eye color, intelligence, etc. When two living things meet, they share their genes. The resultant offspring may end up having half of genes from one parent and half from the other. This process is called recombination or crossover. So remember this term, crossover. The new created offspring can then be mutated. So mutation means that the elements of DNA are a bit changed. These changes are mainly caused by errors in copying genes from parents. The fitness of an organism, that is a living thing, is measured by success of the organism in its life, that is called survival. So Darwin principle, you know that if there are living things, that is if there are organisms that reproduce and if offsprings inherit traits from their progenitors, and if there is a variability of traits, that is behavior, and if the environment cannot support all members of growing population, then those members of the population with less adaptive traits determined by the environment will die out, and then those members with more adaptive traits determined by the environment will thrive. So now try to understand the chart of the evolution of species. So first we will work with the initial populations of species. So write initial populations of species. Then in the step you need to write that struggle struggle for existence, survival. survival of the fittest. Next is that surviving individual, surviving individuals reproduce, propagate, favorable favorable characteristics. So it will continue. Then they will do the same thing for million of years. Then ultimately we will get evolved species. So this is the concept of the Darwin principles, or you can say the chart of evolution of species. Now, in the problem, so uh, now in nature we find populations and individual population. Then we test the fitness. Then we get a chromosome, gene, and then reproductions. Similar term you can link with genetic algorithm. The populations means the set of solutions. Individual means solution to a problem, particular solutions. Fitness means the quality of the solutions. Chromosome encoding for a solutions. Gene part of the encoding of a solutions. Reproduction means the crossover. So basically, uh, you need to understand encoding, crossover. I will learn it further. Now try to understand the flowchart for the genetic algorithm. In genetic algorithm, we have a problem and a set of solutions. Set of solutions. From there, we are selecting initial solutions. So from these solutions, we are doing the selection for parents, selections. Then we are doing the crossover to create offspring with little bit change, that is mutation. Then we'll get a new set of solutions. So this will continue to while we are not getting the optimal solution. So now try to understand the flowchart. Flowchart is that we start with the we begin with the initialize populations, initialize, that is, then we are doing the evaluation, that is the fitness test, evaluation, at t equal to 0. Then we are getting optimum solution, not check is the solution is optimum, initial solution is the optimum. If it is yes, then we'll stop the solutions. If it is no, then we need to do few operations, that is known as selection for parents. So whenever we got the selection, we'll do the crossover. When the crossover will be done, we'll do little bit changes in the offspring, that is called mutation. After all these steps, we'll get a new solutions. So that is at t equal to t plus 1, and then the step will continue unless we are not getting the optimal solutions. So this is the flowchart of the genetic algorithms. Hope you have understood what is genetic algorithm. Once again I'm explaining that we will start with uh, the set of solution. So from there we'll to little bit solution, that is initialize the populations. From this population, these are called t equal to 0. So now if we optimal solution, then we'll stop. If not, then from these populations, we'll select something as some solution as parents. So that's selections as parents. Then crossover to create offspring. Then with in the offspring will do little bit changes. So that is called changes. Changes, that is little bit changes. So that is called mutations. Crossover means that to create offspring, selection as parents, then we get a new solution that is t equal to 1, then we will do the same step. So that is also, so this is an iterative process. So I hope you have understood the genetic algorithm. So now in today's question is that please try to understand the terms which are basically chromosome. Please understand the terms which is selection, which is crossover, mutation. So we'll use these terms in future. Next is that try to understand the Darwin principle. So that is question number A. In questions B, we try to understand the Darwin principles. Try to understand Darwin principle. And last question is that write a comparison between genetic algorithms and the Darwin principles. So write a comparison between comparison between genetic algorithm and Darwin principles. So I hope you have got this idea. So these are the references of today's class. So in genetic algorithm, we'll follow these books. Thank you.